Well, the fight to stay in the NFC East conversation continues in Week 7. It's Cowboys Commanders in Week 7. Going to be a good one to watch. Welcome into Cowboys Rewind. I'm your host, Nicole Hutchison, and Patrik Walker Voch Lombardi will be joining us later in the show to break down cap or no cap. But first, we must rewind to Week 6. The Cowboys falling to the Carolina Panthers 30-27, the final, and it left a lot of questions and this team searching for answers all of this week. But don't get it twisted. This Cowboys team had chances to pull away, but just couldn't put everything together. It was a true game of inches, but it was the Panthers putting all of them together and figuring it out.
Yeah, it's funny. My dad was the old official working your dad's games for coaches. So
really?
We were the little kids.
How about that? We were running around. Hey, now look at us. Now look at us. See you, man.
Come on.
See you, man. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Another day, another movie. I Hand Charlotte, man, produced by me.
Thank you, God. Another opportunity to do what I love with the ones that I love to do it with, God, to my left and to my right. God, I pray that you can just protect everybody that steps on this field. Put your hands around them, make sure everybody gets out in one piece. And this game be put on display through victory today. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Let's get it, bro.
Man, we talked about it last night. Play smart, play physical, play free, and play together.
Young, 3 steps, throws the ball off, tipped and intercepted on a deflection by Donovan Wilson.
Yes, sir! Yeah, Donovan! I'm telling my boy!
Snap to Prescott. Good protection. Into the end zone, wide open, caught.
Let's go! What you call that? The new Fergie end zone dance? Fergie end zone dance. We play to the edge, we don't go over the edge. Great drive.
It is 1st and 10. Young on the run, throws wide open to the 10-yard line. Easy catch for Dowdle.
He's dialed into what we got to do, and we got to be positive. The score is tied. We're not down by 21. But guys, we got to get the done right now. As bad as this been, we still have a chance. You guys got me on that?
Let's go now. Greatness, man, greatness. One at a time, greatness.
Snap to Prescott, throws a slant right, caught Pickens. 25-20, 15-10, burst, touchdown.
Let's go! Let's go! Come on. Yep. Don't let up. Do not let up. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir.
Center Young, half roll to the right. Nealon swung and missed. Throw it in the end zone, wide open. Touchdown for Fitzgerald to win the game for the Panthers. Snap is good. Kick's on the way. Kick is good. Time is at 0. Panthers win 30-27. And I will just tell you that the Cowboys earned this loss.
I told them the truth. I told them that we did not play that game physical enough. When you look at it, you know, they controlled the line of scrimmage. They owned the line of scrimmage. That's part of our identity. We were not surprised by it, but at the same time, it was one game. And we know we can be a physical football team. We know we've done that at times, but we weren't that yesterday. Different reasons. You know, I think they did some really good scheme stuff to us on their defensive side of the ball. They two-gapped to some of their read and react stuff. They took us, you know, they stretched us out a little bit, and I didn't think like we ever found our rhythm. I mean, anytime you have your longest run is 6 yards, that's not very good. And then on the other side of the ball, I think that they just they wanted to come in and double team us and run duo, and our fits were off. You know the run fits they're hard. You know, they're calculated, and you got to get everybody in the same gaps. And they strained us some, and they got some balls on the perimeter that we didn't have much contained for, and they hit explosives and we didn't.
Well, the Cowboys have a chance to bounce back on Sunday against the Commanders. It's a historic rivalry renewed. We're going to break that down later in the show. But up next, we shift gears to what happened on Sunday to someone who's fought more off the field for it. Juanyeh Thomas, we're breaking it all down up next.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by SWBC Mortgage. Customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit SWBC.com. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
They say pressure makes diamonds, but sometimes it makes something stronger. Of course, Juanyeh Thomas and his family had their life tested early, from sleeping in cars and to having their house burned down. But yet, through it all, he still found his fire. September 24th, 2004, where you've been very vocal and public about, that was probably one of the worst days of you and your family's life. When you think about that day, what does it represent for you?
That day, as a young kid, seeing that caused me to grow up early. It caused my siblings to grow up early, and just seeing the hurt and pain look on my mom's face, that was one of those days to where, like, yeah, it's time to step up. And I am actually glad that happened. I'm glad that day happened, because without that day happening, I do not think I would be where I'm at. I don't think my family would be where we're at now.
Take me back to that day. You were about 4 years old?
Yep.
I know you're young, but what do you remember most that night?
Honestly, I remember being in my older sister's room. She was tickling me on the bed. I'm sitting here laughing, and then the smoke detector that went off, and then my mom came running in the room. She's like, "We have to get out." I really didn't know what was going on at the time of, like, what I'm saying, like, oh, okay, a fire, but, who set the fire, which I'm not gonna say his name, but, and then we had to go to our neighbor's house, and then I'm sitting there looking out the window, looking at my home burned down to the ground, and that house is literally all we had.
The Red Cross, I know they gave you guys $250 voucher, 3 nights worth stay.
Yep.
You guys were in and out of cars. Just what was the most difficult part of those days?
Honestly, for me being a young kid, it was more so me not knowing what an actual home was. Being in the car, sitting at the rest area, we thought home was a car. You know what I'm saying? Was
there ever any disappointment or anger coming from your end at all?
Getting emotional now talking about it and stuff. So, but it's really angry. It's like anger on my part to where how a person can do something to the person that they say they love, So, and then obviously it being my father, and then just seeing the look on my mom's face, her being a single parent, that's hard, raising 5 children. Like, you have to do this, that, that's tough. And now that I'm grown and I have a kid myself, I actually get it. And the thing is, my mom did what I'm doing now with 5 children. So just seeing her, man, I'm proud of my mom. She deserves everything.
At what moment did you decide that everything that you had been through, you wouldn't let kind of define you, but instead you wanted to fuel you?
I would say my 7th grade year in middle school, when I started to realize that football can take me far and I can take care of my family. Something just kicked into me to where, like, I have a chance and I have to go hard at everything. I go hard at everything, literally. And from then on there to now, like, it's the same thing.
What's a story that illustrates what this opportunity and this means for your family now that you and your brother are now playing in the NFL?
Honestly, it is a dream come true, and I never take this day for granted.
What would Big Ye tell Lil Ye if he had the chance?
I would say cry now, laugh later, because in that moment as a kid, things are gonna be tough, and they're meant to be tough, but eventually you're gonna make it to the top, and then you can laugh about those times.
Juanyeh Thomas making his 3rd start of the season, 5th start of his career. Definitely going to be needed to help this defense right the ship. But up next, we got the best part of the show, cap or no cap. We're breaking down some bold statements up next.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys Rewind. Nicole Hutchison alongside Voch Lombardi and Patrik Walker. And it's time for cap or no cap. Well, this Dallas defense, of course, has already started to be a hot topic of conversation, considering they are dead last in most statistical categories. You talk about points per game, passing yards per game, passing yards per play. The list goes on. It's already, of course, the trade deadline hasn't even started yet.
Almost all of them. Yeah, what you're saying? Like many of them?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not fine, actually. But November 4th is the trade deadline. And, of course, people are like, all right, let's go out and get some guys, right? Yeah, but there's some guys that think that they should trade for George Pickens and let him go to another team. Well, let's hear what the fan had to say.
Would you consider trading Pickens now while his value's super high?
You and I had this discussion. If you're a team that you do not feel like you're going to re-sign him and you can get more for him and just letting him walk, maybe get your third back or
especially if you're rebuilding a defense.
Yep. If you know what, if you get everybody back, and I know it's crazy talk, but if you're a team that you don't feel like you're going anywhere, and if you're losing to the Bears and the Panthers, you're not going anywhere.
All right, y'all, cap or no cap? I mean, does moving and trading a guy like Pickens, does it even make sense? Patrik?
You know, I love Brian Broaddus to death, and the fact that he said it's crazy talk means he knows it's crazy talk. So I'm going to go with cap on this one, Nicole and Voch. I'm going to simply say it this way. What have you learned, Dallas Cowboys? You lost CeeDee Lamb for 3 games, and it's George Pickens' greatness that gave you the ability to be competitive in those games. Yes, you did not win each of those games, but you were right there, and if your defense had been just a smidge better, you would have W's in each of those 3. In a situation where you don't have Pickens, if you would have lost CeeDee Lamb, then maybe your season is on the brink of being over as we speak. So no, I don't think you trade George Pickens. I think you let the offense be as excellent as it can be because you might have to win in a shootout every single week. And guess what? You traded Micah Parsons, so you got not 1 but 2 extra first-round picks. Trade those instead, and that's how you help out the defense.
Well, Pat, if I could just be devil's advocate for a second, right? Remember no devil's advocate? It's cap. What's wrong with y'all? Brian Broaddus, I love you. Zach Wilshere, I love you. But why would you take something good and take away your good just to make your worse a little better? Now we all bad. I thought you take peanut butter. You might even warm it up. I thought you take the jelly. You might whip it a little bit. And I thought you put both together to make a sandwich. Why would you take away one just to make the other one? Listen, let me say something. Stop. I have not been so befuddled. I've never been so upset. I've never been so angered. I almost said some words, but I don't know where and what channel this is going to come on TV. But that's the biggest cap I've heard in my life. When you have good things, you keep good things. But then you do your absolute best to add other good things to your good things. Jerry Jones says this all the time. I'm not a reporter. I'm not a writer, so I'm not going to say it right. But he says something close to this. When you have a strength, he says with an F, when you have a strength, you add strength to your strength to make your strength even strengthier. He was talking about offensive line at the time, but let's talk about the offense in general. If you have a fantastic offense and CeeDee Lamb is your guy, and maybe you didn't get Pickens going early, you make Pickens great while Lamb is gone, then you put them both together to make your strength even strengthier. Now let's make the defensive strength. And we might go to the Super Bowl after that, man. Who knows?
Felt like it was church in here. Well,
I got mad.
Pass it around.
Well, nah, but I mean, George Pickens.
That's my first time watching the clip. I wasn't prepped.
I'm kidding. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna control it here because George Pickens, of course, leading the league in receiving touchdowns, yards after the catch, and all 13 of his receptions on 3rd and 4th downs have been converted for first downs. You know who else does things like that? CeeDee Lamb. You pair those 2 guys, chef's kiss. But of Norse, what you need is chef's kiss. This offense to click, this defense to figure some things out against Washington. Up next, we're going to break it all down. Welcome back into Cowboys Rewind. Nicole Hutchison, Voch Lombardi, Patrik Walker. It's time to break down this Cowboys-Commanders matchup. In Week 7, you got a Cowboys team that's 2-3-1, a Commanders team that's 3-3. Says to me it equals a must-win for both of these teams, specifically around the NFC East. But we'll start with the Dallas defense. What's the biggest challenge that they have? And I'll start with Pat. What you got?
playing well.
Okay.
That's the biggest challenge for them right now. They got to figure out a way to turn up in some of these categories. They're not playing run defense effectively over the past 2 weeks at least. The pass rush has been struggling most of the season. Takeaways are not at the click that they've become accustomed to under the Dan Quinn era. And they're allowing chunk plays, although they are reducing those with Juanyeh Thomas on the field. The fact of the matter is the Dallas Cowboys offense is lights out. And all they need is the defense to step up and be average-ish, and then they can get some things done and take control of this division. You win against the Washington Commanders, you move into second place. You just gotta do something, anything. Otherwise, you go into the upper room.
No, I don't want that.
It's just so annoying. The Cowboys have the #1 offense in the league, and they have a negative 6-point differential. You're losing all these games by small margins, 3 points, 6 points here or there. You know, the Bears was kind of different, but everything else has always been right there. All I need from my defense is just a stop or two, a thing to happen or two. Hey, Jaden Daniels, just trip over your shoestrings if you don't mind, just once or twice. I have so much faith in the Cowboys offense. They're going to drive. They're going to run the football. I feel much better about them. I was kind of worried about Marshawn Lattimore because he's a name that I recognize, but Marshawn Lattimore is an old dude now. You could just run past that guy. I feel great about that. As far as the Washington Football Wizards, they have not earned my respect to call them Commanders yet. The Washington Football Wizards, as far as they go, Scary Terry, may not be on Debo Samuels, possibly not, but nobody's going to feel better for you because nobody said it about CeeDee Lamb, nobody said it about Tyler Booker. The Cowboys got to go out there and play. They got to go out there and play also. May I ask you a question, sir?
Absolutely.
Now, look, this defense, they're a heart attack and a half. Your offense, they make us smile real big. Real big.
All 32.
If you're in those situations where a normal football team would punt and trust your defense a little bit, would you be a little more aggressive? Maybe some 4th and 5 or so. Would you just go for that 4th and 6 maybe?
Oh, absolutely. I'm letting it fly, Voch and Nicole. The fact of the matter is, anybody who follows football knows there's another way you can play defense, and that's with an electric offense. And if your offense is controlling time of possession, extending plays, going for it on 4th down, and being successful in doing so, and lighting up the scoreboard, well, now you make the clock and the scoreboard your 12th and 13th defender. So if I'm the Cowboys, I'm letting it fly. Let it hang, Shotty.
And especially in the red zone, get freaky. Why not? I mean, just go for it. Yeah. I don't want to see no Brandon Aubrey. We love you, dude. We do love you, Brandon Aubrey. But
who's making easier money right now?
Please.
Joe Milton or Brian Anger?
I do not. I'm sick
what's the next question?
of you. Washington's offense goes no huddle on 62.3% of their plays. That's the highest rate in the NFL. How does that challenge a defense that's still struggling to find consistency? What you got?
Well, what's one of the biggest problems that the Cowboys defense has had this season? It's communication issues. And what is up-tempo, fast-tempo, huddle, no huddles designed to do is to disrupt the communication on the defense. So when you have those two things working against each other, the Cowboys are going to be up against it.
Man, whether they're going fast or slow, it don't matter. Dak, save us, please. The most I can hope for is that AT&T Stadium is rocking and maybe Jaden Daniels can't hear all that well. Cowboy W still, though, because that's how I feel. I'm a homer.
I don't like it because you're asking this Cowboys offense to basically play perfect every single
Life ain't fair.
It ain't fair.
All right,
but it's what needs to happen.
What needs to happen? Well, the Cowboys need to get a win. We're going to break it all down and wrap things up on the show up next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by SWBC Mortgage. Customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit SWBC.com.
Welcome back to Cowboys Rewind. Nicole Hutchison here to wrap things up on the show. But first, I got some things to say. I mean, why not, right? Here's the thing. Last week's loss to the Carolina Panthers, 30-27, the final. It might have hurt this team. We've, of course, heard the expressions from the Cowboys' entire locker room and the coaching staff as well. But right now, they still have a chance because the second place in the NFC East is still up for grabs. They're taking on a Washington team that, of course, fell last week to the Chicago Bears, right? They're obviously not happy about that either. The Commanders are 3-3. Cowboys are 2-3-1. It's somewhat of a even playing field right now, and they're fighting for some of the same things, right? This offense fighting for some respect, this defense especially, but fighting for some rhythm, fighting for some shots at momentum, of course. But the difference is there's one team that still is finding that identity, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. We heard from Matt Eberflus, who is looking to try some new things. We'll see if he actually implements that against the Washington Commanders. But this is now about identity, like I mentioned, not potential. And the Cowboys have the talent. They have the playmakers, of course. They just got to use them about the same way as they expect to. But the Cowboys need a way to respond. It's about how they respond, and they do need this win, and it's going to come down to grit. It's going to come down to fight, and hopefully this Dallas defense figures some things out. But that's my little mic drop. Cowboys, Commanders kick off at 3:25 on Fox, and we got the Dallas live pregame show that's going to air on DallasCowboys.com. Make sure to tune in live. It's going to be a good one to watch.